Hi everyone, my name is Splin and every Friday I issue a video digest of the motorcycle news. Too many new motorcycles this month, it takes time to digest, and let's start with one of the most interesting releases of November. Triumph presented the new Street Triple and presented it in three versions: R, RS and Moto 2. The changes are quite significant. So, what is the difference? Let's start with the engine. All the versions got more powerful 765cc liquid-cooled inline triple engine, now delivers 118 horsepower at 11,500 RPM versus 116 horsepower previously in the R version and 128 horsepower at 12,000 RPM versus 121 horsepower previously in the RS version. The torque is the same in all the versions. 18 Nm at 9,500 RPM. All the versions have a 6-gear transmission and slipper clutch with assistance. According to Triumph, the transmission is set up for better feedback and acceleration. It's nice to have a quick shifter as base on all of the three versions. The bikes have upgraded ergonomics. The handlebars on R and RS versions are 12 mm wider, while the Moto 2 version has no handlebar at all. It has clip-ons instead, 80 mm lower and 50 mm further than the handlebar. The aggressive ergonomics of the Moto 2 version is enhanced to fully adjustable Öhlins Nix 30 fork with travel of 115 mm and Öhlins STX 40 monoshock with a travel of 131 mm. The RS version has the same monoshock, but the fork is simpler. It's show a big piston with full set of adjustment and the same travel of 115 mm, such as on the R version, which in turn has the monoshock of the same brand and travel of 133.5 mm. Brakes. The R version has radially mounted 4-piston Brembo M4.32 calipers and 310 floating brake discs, while two more advanced versions got 4 radially mounted piston monoblock Brembo Stylema calipers and two 310 floating brake discs and a Brembo MCS master cylinder. Each version has improved clean angel sensitive ABS and traction control. The sizes and the seat height of the three versions also differ from each other, but I will not go into too much detail. After all, it's a news digest, not a review of Triumphs. But it's worth mentioning that the total weight of the bikes is really nice. 189 kg for the R version and 188 kg for RS and the Moto 2 versions. The two more advanced versions have 17-inch alloy wheels with Pirelli Diablo Supercorsa SP V3 tires and Continental tires for the R version. All the versions have various engine modes, TFT dashboards that connects to a smartphone, LED light and 15-liter tanks. Finally, the looks were also updated. Also, the overall style of the bikes remains the same, and one would surely recognize the MY23 Street Triple. The Moto 2 version has carbon instead of plastic, and all of the three versions have the new design of the exhaust. The color schemes were also updated. We already know the prices: 10,000 United States dollars for the R version, 12,600 United States dollars for the RS version, and from 15,400 United States dollars for the Moto 2 version, all for the United States market. The next new bike is for those who love classic style. A year ago, my digest covered the new model of the relaunched British brand BSA. The name of the model was Gold Star, and what was cool about it is that it was designed entirely in the spirit of the old school classic bikes. Real retro stuff, not new retro stuff. And now, a year later, BSA presented another new model, the Scrambler, which is currently at the concept stage. But BSA say they wanted to show the opportunities to develop the Gold Star platform and emphasize the fact of the bike was completely developed in Great Britain. The engine is the same. 625cc single-cylinder liquid-cooled, delivering 45 horsepower and 55 Nm of torque. By the way, liquid cooling is the only feature of the bike that remains as of 2022. The rest, similar to the previous model, looks as it came from the past. The bike has 5-gear transmission, spoked wheels, two classic shock absorbers at the rear, a regular telescopic fork along with the round headlight and dashboard, also a digital one, tank of the classic shape, traditional scramble type of seat, big type of fender and single brake disc at front, and well, a 100% old school scrambler. What doesn't really fit in this concept is the radiator and the exhaust system that goes below the bike. unlike on a traditional Scrambler. I think that despite a wide range of Scramblers available on the market, this model will be popular among classic motorcycle enthusiasts, as almost of the old-school classic bikes are not in production anymore. The only two bikes of this kind that come to my mind are the W800, which is still in production, and the SR400, which is about to be terminated. Time for some interesting stuff from BMW. Some time ago I mentioned in my digest that brand registered the name of R12, and everybody thought the brand was developing a smaller R18 type of cruiser. And now we have some more official information. On October 18, BMW filed an application to register the name of R12S. One could guess that this would be sport version of the new cruiser, but according to the sources of motorcycle.com, it could be completely different. BMW has a R90 model range, which is a classic roadster. The 9 in the name of the range is not just a digit. The model range was launched in 2013, and the 9 stands for 90-year anniversary of BMW Motorrad. In 2023, BMW Motorrad will celebrate its 100-year anniversary, and the range would unlikely be renamed to R10T. So, Motorcycle.com assumes the next year R9T will get a new platform and will be renamed to R12, which makes even more sense given the 1200cc capacity of the engine. Next year they will surely present something to celebrate its 100-year anniversary. Now let me tell you about a really important concept bike. The image of the concept of an electric Royal Enfield leaked to the internet. And we know Royal Enfield for a combination of nice looks and affordable prices. So we can assume that electric bike will also be wallet friendly. This model is planned to be launched in 2025. Let's have a look at those leaked pictures. It's important to know that the model is in the early development stage, so the real bike will look different. But we can still get an idea of what the style of the bike will be. Quite in line with the concept of the brand, the model is retro style. The first thing that catches our sight is the fork of a highly untypical construction for the 21st century. I bet it will not be part of a serial bike, as such forks were used in the middle of the 20th century. The bike has a tank, obviously a purely style element for an electric motorcycle. We can see two plastic boxes of unknown function under the tank and the radiator with a label of Electric 01. The wheel is also quite interesting. It's presumably a 19-inch alloy wheel with very thin spokes, which is untypical for the modern road bikes. I definitely like the looks of the concept, and your comments on what you think of retro style electric bikes are more than welcome. The next piece of news is from Italy. Timur Sardarov, the CEO of MV Agusta, gave an interview to Motorcycle.com to provide details of the acquisition of a 25.1% stake in MV Agusta by KTM. Here are the most important points of this interview. And so that's why for me to partner up with a big business, with a big industrial partner like KTM, it makes my life easier, Sardarov told Motorcycle. I want to focus on developing the business, on making the company better and more efficient, but it's very hard to do this when you're constantly thinking about whether we should ship our wheels from China by plane or by boat. Two KTM senior management team members joined MV Agusta board of directors as a result of the deal. Following the deal, MV Agusta got a 30 million euro capital. Under this partnership, KTM will oversee MV Agusta's parts supply as well as develop the distribution network of MV. Here is what Timur says. We're going to develop a network together, and it's going to be either multi-brand dealers or standalone dealers depending on the country, but it's definitely going to mean better dealers overall. I hope some of our existing dealers will stay with us, because many of them have invested heavily in MV, and I'm really grateful to them to doing so, and I will make sure that they are still part of our family. But some other dealers simply haven't performed, so we'll be letting them go. Timur also started that he is not going to sell MV Agusta completely. MV Agusta needs to have an individual entrepreneur running it, not the manager. Stefan Pirer would have to install to run the company for him. He is much too busy a person to be able to do this himself, even if he'd be well capable of doing so personally. Now let's talk about the new Suzuki engine, the engine of the recently presented V-Strom 800 and GSX 8S, which we reviewed in one of the previous digests. We already touched upon the basic specs of the engine, but let me briefly remind you some facts. The engine is a 776cc liquid-cooled parallel twin with two camshafts on top and 270-degree crankshaft. The engine is quite a short stroke one, 84mm bore, 70mm stroke, compression ratio is high at 12.8 to 1, and the engine is accompanied by the two-sided quickshifter. However, Suzuki claims that they have some features that are unique. The 6-liter airbox contributes to the higher torque at the low revs, and the computer-aided design shape preserves swaddle forms. In order to keep the twin swipes in check, Suzuki employs its cross-balancer technology. By mounting each balancer at a 90-degree angle to the crankshaft, the system quells much of the parallel twin resultant vibrations. Suzuki takes the 776 smooth operation even further by plating the cylinder walls with its composite electrochemical material process. Paired with the FEM-engineered forged pistons, the plated cylinders enhance durability by minimizing friction, reducing piston ring wear, and increasing heat dissipation. To help on the cooling front, Suzuki equips its parallel twin with in-house inlet control thermostat valve. The component not only manages the engine's thermal load, but also regulates warm-up idle speed, stabilizes combustions, and mitigates exhaust emissions. Lastly, Suzuki touts the 2-in-1 exhaust systems, but we all know that the unit primarily limits emissions to Euro 5 standards. Let's see how successful the bikes will be given the fact that they will have to compete with the parallel twin by Honda, which, while having the similar displacement, delivers 95 horsepower versus 82 horsepower of the Suzuki engine. The last piece of news for today is from the world of motorcycle gear. SCHUBERTH presented a model off-road oriented helmet E2. The model is a replacement for the E1, which was introduced in 2015 based on the touring helmet C3 Pro. Similar to the E1, the E2 combines the model construction with the aesthetic elements of the touring and off-road oriented helmets. So, what's interesting about the new helmet? First of all, it complies with the new ECE 22.06 standard. I reviewed this standard in detail in a separate video, but in the Russian language only. This means that wearing it with the chin bar flip top is approved as safe. The German equipment manufacturer has created a new fiberglass shell reinforced with a carbon fiber to offer improved shock absorption and impact dissipation in order to increase safety while reducing weight. Along with this, the brand new dual-density EPS liner is used, whatever it means. Additional adjustments have been made to enhance the E2's versatility as an ADV and touring helmet. The removable peak in particular has been improved to cause fewer vibrations and now adjustable in 3 configurations. This is also true of the ventilation system, whose air inlets and extractor has been altered to boost airflow, particularly in the chin guard, where it is the most necessary to avoid visor fogging. There is now a washable and replaceable filter there to keep out dust and pollution. The interior of the helmet has a liner that is antimicrobial and has the OECO Tex 100 rating, as well as adjustable padding. A position memory visor mechanism and an integrated drop-down sunscreen are also included. The helmet also seamlessly incorporates the speaker as well as the 3 mesh, Bluetooth and FM antennas, making it ready to receive the SC2 intercom system manufactured by Sina. Depending on the size, SCHUBERTH declares a weight rating from 1,675 grams to 108,060 grams. It's important to remember that with accessories installed, the reported weight range from 1,830 to 2,050 grams. The prices for the SCHUBERTH E2 helmet started from 700 euros. That's it for today. Thank you for watching, like and subscribe. I would appreciate your feedback and comments. See you next Friday.